So today on Further Everyday, we wanted to kind of break this down. We've talked about this before, but question for you, the viewer. Do you have a responsibility to self-defense? Or, I'm not talking about a right. Let me narrow the framework a little bit. In certain cases, do you have an obligation to defend yourself? Are there times where you are not only afforded the right, but no, you are also implicitly required to defend yourself? I believe the answer is yes. I'm going to give you one example here in just a moment, but I got to introduce everyone on the panel. Jonathan for Further Every Day. Miss Nikki, how's it going?
Hi, it's going good. How are you?
Doing well. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
How's it going, Charlie?
Good. We only have 2 hours.
We only have 2 hours.
A lot of content.
A lot of content to get to. Steve.
I am raring and ready to go. Politically incorrect today.
Ryan, how's it going, man?
Not on.
I'm good.
Thank you for producing. Let me ask you the question, Ryan.
Okay.
You're married. Okay, you're not married, but let's pretend for a second that
I'm
you're
married?
Let's pretend for a second that you're married. And you wake up at 2 a.m. You have a wife and 3 kids. You wake up to the sound of glass being tapped out of your front door. Well, you know, I would like that everyone would live, so I don't want to harm the person. How would people look at you if you responded that way and you allowed them to rape, murder, kill your family?
Like I'm insane. I should be jailed for that.
Like you're failing to do your duty.
I made a vow to protect that woman and our kids.
Right. So there are times, correct, panel, that you actually are required to step up and put yourself in harm's way and also to defend yourself. Those two things go hand in hand. Not only is it natural. I was talking to someone before we got on my way into the studio, and she goes, well, isn't that just a natural, God-given response? That's a reflex that we have to defend ourselves. It's innately built into us. And I said,
For some.
I said, for some, correct, exactly. For some it is. But for others, it takes an act of heroism to be able to step up to and move to that. So if you have not figured out what we're talking about this week, not only did we capture Maduro in the last 10 days, not only did we put seals on dark Russian tanker fleets on, you know, that's a whole thing I'd like to get into at some point, maybe not today, but more data is coming out. That's fascinating. And then, of course, if you have not been watching, Minneapolis is
Burning again.
burning again. Mr. Producer, first cut. Just so people can see, if you have not seen this footage yet, this is a bunch of leftists who have descended upon Minneapolis.
Paid.
And a lot of them are paid, is what it appears to be.
From other states.
From other states. We have Craigslist ads and from, literally Craigslist ads, Mr. Producer, from Pennsylvania. I know, it sounds ridiculous, right? And so these people are paid $15 an hour, up to 70 hours a week. And again, somehow that didn't get it in the show map. It will be in the comments or in the description for our show at Rumble and YouTube or anywhere you can find podcasts. Thank you, Mr. Producer. But we're seeing this influx of paid agitators. Why? Well, if you've been living under a rock, real quick, let's go ahead and play the video. So that's going to be cut number 2, Mr. Producer. We got 3 different angles for you. Better than the mainstream media. Go ahead. So this is the body cam for the officer on the left. So she's been hanging out here for 10 minutes.
We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
So she's out there talking smack. So, again, if you didn't watch that closely, you might not have noticed that officer was walking around the car. He didn't place himself in front of anything. He walked around the car And then he drew his weapon and said, "Stop." And when the weapon fired, you can actually see in the news reports a hole in the windshield. He would have been up on top of the hood, having been
Impacted. With the
laying
vehicle.
out sprawled over the hood. What's going to happen with your trigger finger when you're falling up over the hood and you just told someone lawfully to stop?
Right.
So how can we as Christians articulate this to people who are confused?
They're not confused.
Well, that's a good point.
They're not confused.
Some people aren't.
This
I agree.
and this is what I'm concerned about with regards to this kind of thing. The left has been steadily ramping up rhetoric. They've been doing that since 2000, can I say 16? I think I can.
Well,
Even
it starts-
before that.
it started with if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
So this has been going on a long time, and what's starting to happen
Obama, for
now,
those of you who can't remember.
especially with a lot of coverage of places like Minneapolis, if the violence like this starts to become normalized, if the violence like Charlie Kirk starts to become normalized, that's going to lead to a direct, very violent, dare I say it, civil war.
But so here's where I would say here's our danger point, and here's where we need to be really careful as Christians and conservatives.
Yes.
I don't think these people have the same rationale and rational mindset that we do.
They don't.
They're saying, "Look, you guys are happy that this woman is dead." First off, no one's happy. that
Nobody's
she's dead.
happy she's dead.
It's a
no.
loss of life. It's tragic. And it's also incredibly destructive. In addition to the destruction of her life, what we're seeing is destructive. No one wants this. No one is enjoying this. No one wants this to be. She could have gone about her day to her family, which, by the way, she was estranged from part of her children because of her psychotic and strange behavior. The other woman allegedly, this is what I understand, was putting out cigarettes on her children's arms. The lesbian lover that she was with, and so that's how she lost part of her custody from one father, pursued her because of alleged child abuse by the lesbian lover when those kids were with her. Again, fact check that, check it out, but that's what my understanding is. So not only was this woman deranged, the woman that she's with is deranged, the woman that she's doing confused, strange sex stuff with is confused and deranged, but also they want to say we're happy that this happened, and it's just the same. It's just the same that Tyler Robinson allegedly shoots Charlie Kirk as this ICE agent allegedly shoots this woman in cold blood. By the way, the ICE agent was thrown over the car while he was pointing a gun at the woman. What did you expect was going to happen? 1. 2. Charlie Kirk was talking about free speech and was speaking specifically at that moment about the harm of the transgender ideology when a transgender relationed guy who was dating another guy who was quote unquote transitioning to a woman, mutilating himself, shot him. One was speaking in a public square where he was asked and he was invited to. The other lady was intentionally blocking a government activity and spun her tires on black ice. If you watch the video carefully, you'll see she spun her tires while looking directly into that ICE agent's eyes.
And can we pause there for just a second?
Not the same.
Because if you're a person that really does not want to die, I would think that the moment that pistol came up, you'd be ducking behind the dash.
If you believed that they wouldn't do it, that's the problem.
Yep.
Is that we have told people over and over again, you can do this without repercussion. And we were talking about this earlier.
And that's what I meant by the normalizing too.
Yes. Someone said it this way, and I think it was Stephen Crowder this week. He said, you got to remember, you are afforded an opportunity. There's a branch. There's an XY branch. If they say, get out of the car or move the car, then get out of the car. If you don't move the car, You have branched in a scenario. You have escalated. You are blocking ice. You are intentionally for 10 minutes there honking your horn, trying to prevent ice from getting through, trying to alert. By the way, it was either stolen goods or sex trafficking is what the guy that they were specifically out to get at that moment. She was blocking them from getting to and trying to alert. She's on the side of pedophiles and thieves.
As are all the liberals.
And then so you have that branch, right? You have branch one. Move the car. You don't move the car. Okay, that decision is passed, lady. Now you have get out of the car peacefully, and you will be detained. No, but I want to get to move the car. No, you don't get to move the car.
That's called resisting.
Revving the engines while pointed at an ICE officer. You have skipped 2 or 3 levels of escalation, and you are now at the point where you have not only moved, you didn't move the car when you were told to. You think you can do it now with an ICE agent blocking you. You were told to get out of the car. Now you're trying to run over an ICE agent. You think that you can just go back. You live this privileged life. You think you can go back without any consequence to the original option. You cut yourself off from that option. Those branches, you are leaved out, and you are out of options. You have finished your options.
Yeah. If you pay attention to the lady's girlfriend, she acts just like a thug. I mean, you know, the one that's the guy acting gal or whatever. She's acting like a little thug, walking and talking, and then she's saying, "Go, baby, go, go." And if you listen, you can hear her telling her girlfriend to go. Did
she get arrested? I'm sure she must have got arrested.
I'm not really sure if she did or not. I haven't read or heard that whether she has or not.
So I watch body cam stuff on YouTube.
I do too.
So do I.
We're both mentally ill together.
I'm sorry, my husband just laughs at me, but Tuesday is Taser Tuesday, and I just love Taser Tuesday.
Yeah. Dude, anyway, I tell you what.
But anyway, going back to being serious here, if you're a governor and you're a mayor of a city and your law enforcement officers are going to arrest a drug dealer and people in the neighborhood start to interfere, that's called obstruction. And you can be arrested for that. If a law enforcement officer tells you to get out of the vehicle, that's a lawful order. You have to obey it. If you start that, when you don't, that's called resisting. Those are arrestable. You can get arrested for those offenses. If a mayor or a governor had a law enforcement officer in this situation going to arrest an alleged drug dealer, and this happened, they would not be defending the person that got shot in the vehicle. They would be defending their law enforcement officers.
Yeah, and I can't find any reference to Becca Good being arrested. Roxy in the PSP live chat went ahead and looked it up. She says can't find anything per Grok either.
I'm very surprised because she would be involved in
an agitator.
Yeah,
but the thing is, so
part of it's an optics thing at this point. And that's where we need to take the kit gloves off. It's time to say, look, no. You passed that opportunity when you started violently protesting in the streets. I'm sorry, blocking emergency equipment is not peaceful protest. That is not peaceful protest. Blocking the road is not peaceful protest. When do you get to the point where an ambulance is trying to get through and they can't because the roads have been blocked by protesters? When do good citizens start to pop off and say, wait a minute, if I just start to, I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying if someone says, hey, there's just some protesters in the way between the ambulance and my child who's having a seizure or something, I have my gun. These protesters are in the way. Stop putting yourself in that position, dear leftists. Stop. You are going to start a civil war. People will get fed up. I'm not saying we should get to that point just yet, but people will very, very, very quickly. And I don't know. We're riding on the edge of whether or not that kind of level is justified. Like, we're getting there.
But you're sending two different messages. You hate the right, you hate Trump, you hate everything he stands for and the people that he are serving, but you cannot have this type of behavior in your day-to-day cities and towns.
Yeah.
Against law enforcement. You can't do it. Otherwise, you have an out-of-control situation where gangs and the criminals run things, not the law enforcement.
Yeah. And this is how a society dies.
Yes.
So I actually want to pull up a little bit more of what's happening in Minneapolis. It's easy for us, we're in Texas, to kind of miss this, but it is developing right now. So next cut, Mr. Producer, if you can go ahead and pull that up. It is getting worse. See, they're trained to do this. They want to stop the emergency equipment at any cost.
What makes these people think they can stop a vehicle?
Because this person isn't gunning it, because this nice officer, this kind officer, is not just running them over. In other countries, they just mow you over.
Okay, watch this part right here coming up.
This other protest is in the evening.
Watch this. Watch it. That person hit their head. I want to talk about that in a minute.
Okay. We're past the point of peaceful. So, thank you, Mr. Producer. You basically have a city that's shut down, and it's shut down by the violence, and a lot of these people are paid agitators. Yeah, Miss Nikki.
So if you saw that part where the man or woman was thrown to the ground and they hit their head on the cement, what if that turned out to be fatal? Mm-hmm. Is that murder? Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So again, in that case, the person throwing was an ICE agent saying, "Get off the car." But the thing is, people are putting themselves in that position. And so does an ICE officer have a duty to stop someone who's attempting to kill them? Yes, they do. They're carrying out a lawful order.
Absolutely.
We talked about this earlier. If this had been some schmo, if this had been like one of us out there counter protesting, you know, just some white dude in a MAGA hat saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, slow down, slow down. What are you doing? Why are you running me over?" Bang. She would still be guilty and he would still be on the right side. But that's not what was going on. The context is this was in the middle of an ICE raid
Yeah.
on a criminal, not some random mamacita. And that would have been totally legal. Not a problem. This was on someone who was, again, top of memory. Someone in the chat can look it up. Either he was a child sex crime offender or he was a thief. I can't remember who the warrant was being served on. But the point is, that was the warrant that was being served on. Does she know that? No. Does she care? No. She's living in this other ideology, this other world where immigrants are just coming here because they're oppressed. Maybe some of these people are oppressors. It's like we talked about that Tom Holman thing, that interview 2 or 3 episodes ago, where Tom Holman goes, "Well, yeah, of course we feel sorry that this guy fled, but you do realize he was nicer than me. If I were Tom Holman, I would not probably be invited back, and that's probably why Tom Holman's much nicer than me. But you do realize that that guy died running on top of a narco greenhouse where they were holding children captive for sex trafficking, and he was evading a lawful order to be peacefully detained, and not in an ICE raid, in a search warrant for child trafficking and narco-terrorism. You do realize, Dana, Miss Bash on CNN, you do realize that you are on the side of pedophiles and criminals.
And I don't think they even think about it.
That's the problem. And that's where we need to start to bring them back. There are people who are not fully out in the Renee Good territory. That's the name of the woman who tried to run over that cop and won the Darwin Award.
They don't live in reality. They really don't. They're out there in a land of Oz, I guess, is what you could call it.
Let me just get something here real quick. I think Montina Cindy really nailed it. This isn't going to stop till we get them at the top. And I think that's a really good point. And I think it's the reason why we've digressed to the place where we have. And I go back to the likes of prosecutions for people like Hillary Clinton on the email thing. And we could
Why
go
are those not
back
done?
there further.
Why are those not done? Why
That's
don't
right.
we have some of that? And here's the thing. Here's the real issue with someone said on one of our comment sections, they said, this is only because you guys are losing the plot. Trump doesn't want the Epstein files found out because he's hiding them, because he's in them.
He's not.
It's like, I can want both, by the way. I can want clarity on Epstein.
Yep.
And I can say good on Maduro. I think is what the topic was. Good on the Maduro shoot. Good on that. I can say also with a clear head, Trump spent the last 15 years saying Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. And then the moment what he's given when he comes in for his second term is like, ooh, this has been tampered with. Ooh, there's stuff that's missing. Ooh, there's a lot of people implicated. We need to be careful. Hey, Pam Blondie, why didn't you do a better job of searching through this before I stepped my foot in it? Both things can be true. Okay. Both things can be true at once. You can have a terrible rollout of the Epstein files by Pam Bondi.
And
Okay?
it was.
And I'm sorry. Maybe she's a nice lady, but sorry, that's a mistake. Also, she's prosecuting Second Amendment stuff. Sorry, she's not a conservative. But I think President Trump wants to keep a unified cabinet. He wants to keep a unified field so that, unlike last time, they don't start picking off. I think that's part of his strategy. I get it. God bless Pam Bondi.
Blondie.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Pam Bondi. God bless Pam Bondi. I hope someone gets a hold of her and says, hey, hate speech is not a conservative thing. Stop saying we need to arrest people for hate speech. Hey, Second Amendment is an important thing. Please stop trying to arrest people for Second Amendment. Her DOJ is awful. But anyway, you can hold both things at the same time. And all of this is really, really important. Someone said it this way. I think it was Omar Sewerpickle. Howdy, Omar. He said Vance was spot on when he said they needed to go after the leaders and funders of this operation to drive the funds.
Yep.
The fact that these agitators are being paid $15 to $17 an hour.
Well, I think, this
That's
is where the
insane.
city should come back and say, any damage you do, we're going to sue the organization that paid you to be here. But I don't know if they'll do that, considering who's in charge. But you wouldn't do that here in Texas. I can promise you that.
Yeah. So it's guys, this is where we need to be very clear about what we're saying and why we're a principled stance. Charlie Kirk's shooter and the ICE agent are very different. Charlie Kirk was
Yes.
a dude minding his own freaking business, just talking about the issues of the day, killed by someone who disagreed with him. The ICE agent who was hit by a paid agitator who was violently protesting and assaulted him with a deadly weapon. They keep saying an unarmed driver. That's wild. Last time I checked, first-degree murder is regularly attributed with aggravated vehicular assault. That is a set of charges that exists in case law.
You'll have to release a lot of people who hit and killed other people because
I like what Sheriff Grady Judd, and by the way, maybe America's greatest sheriff, don't know, but he's up there and he stated this, that's a 2-ton
yes,
weapon.
yeah.
He used the word weapon.
And that's exactly what it is, if you use it as such.
Correct. It doesn't matter. A forklift is a weapon. Okay. Anyone seen James Bond? Anyway, no, it's quite the scene. Anyway, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
I wish I had that so for you to pull up, Mr. Producer. But anyway, it doesn't matter. If you attempt to harm someone with an object, sorry, that guy had a duty. And again,
Yes.
it doesn't matter that this guy was drug 100 yards, whatever it was, 6 months ago by someone else in a very similar situation. It doesn't even matter that's the case. But maybe we could afford the guy a little bit of grace. I mean, if you're talking about PTSD from someone using the N-word.
I don't.
This guy was literally drugged for like 100 yards. He has 30-something stitches in his legs from being mistreated. ICE officers are being shot, and it's getting worse. Minneapolis PD is fleeing the scene while ICE is trying to lock down Minneapolis. Go ahead and pull up that next clip, Mr. Producer. Actually, this is from the White House.
Here when they hear the mayor of their city
forgot we even have more footage.
You're gonna die, Can you pull behind them? It's ICE. They're trying to kidnap people. Please pull behind them.
The president stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers.
So that's the White House. Thank you, Mr. Producer. And again, correct response from JD. And I'm so thankful that they're actually protecting that. This cut, Mr. Producer, this next cut is basically, this is from @NickSodor. If you follow him on X, great. If you don't yet, go ahead and follow him. He's one of those guys that I rely on for regular information, good on the ground reporting. And this is really freaky. Like, this is Gotham level villainy. Go ahead and play it.
No, not me. It's not me. Oh, shit.
So this is the cops leaving. These people screeching with whistles.
What the fuck happened?
These cops, I don't know if they got a call. It's like they all started moving at once.
Yeah, they got a call to all leave.
And they're vacating. Look at this. They're seeding the city. So look at this coward. He won't even drive all the way around. Thank you, Mr. Producer. This is so let's pretend for a second. Let's pretend that you're one of those shop owners. You're paying $4,000, $5,000 a month.
Who did you vote for?
To be there, okay? I understand, but let's pretend for a second that you did vote for Trump, okay? You voted for something clean. You voted for something honest. You deserve all the best. You're paying $5,000, just to have rent. And then when your store is being bashed in by protesters, what do the cops do? The cops that you're paying the salary for. Remember we said some people have a duty, a responsibility to self-defense and the defense of others? That's what they're paid to do. That's why you're supposed to back the blue.
That's what they're sworn to do.
It's what they're sworn in to do. We're supposed to back the blue. You know why we're supposed to back the blue? Because they're supposed to back us. And that's one of the reasons why I'm super pro-cop. Okay? I've had very bad experiences with police officers, but by and large, I've had some good ones too. Okay? I've had about 3 or 4 bad and about 100 or more great, okay? Or 1,000 great. But I got 3 or 4 bad that really stick in my mind. Small town cops, that kind of thuggery in Texas. You guys, if you know, you know. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that I say screw the cops or F the police. As you want the police as an institution and an organization to run well. And when we see this, we should say, wait a minute. Now we're at the point of sedition. Like Tim Walz, if they're opening this up, think about that poor shop owner who has to make rent next month. Maybe it hasn't been a good month. Maybe they have 4 employees, 6 employees, and their store is bashed in. They only have $100,000 in the bank. They have to spend $60,000 just to take care of that. And now they're looking, do I close the store? Now those people who work in that shop, they don't have a job. These things have consequences. These actions, they have direct consequences. And you make a choice. Sometimes you can't go back to that decision. We can't undo what happened during 2020. We can't undo what will happen in 2025 if we don't move.
Here's an idea about these cops is that you got a mayor that doesn't want them there. Mm-hmm. He gets up in front of the media and is cussing ICE agents.
Yeah.
And accusing them.
And then making accusations about them, and false accusations at that.
And Tampon Tim up there saying, we're at war with the federal government. I am
Right.
I'm mobilizing my state guard. What is that?
Right. And then you've got
If that's not sedition, I don't know what it is.
the police chief who does what? Works for the mayor. Police chief's not elected. He's appointed by the mayor. So what's he going to do? He's going to do what the mayor tells him to do. So the mayor, of course, doesn't like ICE. He's going to say, hey, you guys hoof it. You tell your guys to get out of there, leave them ICE agents to themselves. We don't want it.
Yeah.
Great.
And the police chief goes, dudes, leave now.
Great.
What do they got to do?
They got to leave.
They got to leave.
Let's bring in the National Guard. Let's bring in. Hey, look, I'm there, man.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm there. I think it's time to start clearing the streets. Sons of Liberty said this really well. He says you can yell fire in a crowded theater 100%. You can. It's legal, especially if there's a fire, but you must face the consequences for the call to action. Consequences of free speech are as real as the speech itself. I pretty much agree with you. I would articulate it a little bit differently. I would say it this way. I would say you have ultimate freedom of speech in as much as it doesn't have an actual physical consequence. Let me give you an example. I can't go into a kindergarten 4 class and start talking about weird sex stuff. Okay, that's not free speech anymore because I am exposing children to things that they should not be. And this is a conservative idea. Most conservatives would not possibly imagine the world of 1791, where we had defamation laws, we had blasphemy laws, we had decency laws. You couldn't say the F word in public without the potential for getting sued by someone that says you have used. Conservatism is not this libertarian idea. It is conserving godly values. So I agree with you 100%. There are consequences. I would also say that calls to action, I would just add an addendum, calls to action are indeed an action. Sexually violating a child for saying things that ought not to be said in front of a child is still a violation. It's not a part of, it's also a part of the free speech. Your speech is free, but that action also comes along with yelling fire in the crowded theater. You're calling people to action in addition to your freedom of speech. They're two things that go together, but I agree with you 100%. And so, yeah, and he responds back, children are not adults. They have special protections. Children are dispossessed for a reason. I totally agree. All of that to say, we need to make sure we know now more than ever why we believe what we believe, and we need to be very, very careful. That is the synthesis of apologetics.
Yes.
Apologia in the Greek is a written or reasoned defense for a court. It is that sort of a response. When in 1 Peter 3:15 says, be ready to give an answer for the hope in which you believe, that word apologia, a reasoned, thoughtful response. That's why we as Christians especially, and I'd say if you're not a Christian but you're conservative, you should also understand why. By the way, you'll come over to our side the more you understand. I'm just saying, just going to put it out there, but leave it to you. Study, and have a reason for which you believe. So that's that. I do want to go ahead and pull up one more cut in just a second, because let me just find our spot here.
I want to bring up one thing. I was thinking of that verse in Proverbs. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. And when we stand on righteousness, that's when things turn around for this country. That's when it happens. And honestly, I think there's a number of things that Trump is doing that has turned some things, for sure. Now, those who are against it, it's stirred them up, obviously. But that's what you have to do with evil. You have to resist it. You have to stand against it. And I would encourage people to stand.
Yeah.
Stand against it. Resist.
100%. By the way, in the live chat, I see some of y'all popping off. By the way, if you're one of our regular listeners, hundreds of thousands of downloads on the audio. Thank you so much. YouTube, Rumble, you can find us there, but also you can find us on PSB's Rumble, DLive, or Vaughn.live channel at PSB, 1 to 3 Central Standard Time, God's time zone, on PSB's channels. So PSB, there's a little bit of a debate going on. Should we call Pam Bondi, some slur? Okay, I'm sorry for calling her Pam Blondie. I'm trying not to.
Shame on you.
I'm going to say this. Kudos on Kristi Noem. I shot my dog. Kristi Noem, I'm really glad that she's actually she's exceeding expectations.
She's doing what she said she would.
Miss Press Secretary, oh my gosh. Miss Levitt is a
Is there
beast.
any person
I've never seen a better.
who has ever done it better?
I've never
ever.
seen a better press secretary.
No.
So just saying,
Yeah.
calling Tampon Tim, calling Pam Bondi, Pam Blondie. It's just a little bit of, and maybe we should be careful. Okay, maybe we should be careful.
Tone it
Just-
down, dude.
I'll say it. But you know what?
It's all
I'm
right.
sorry, Pam Bondi has no business in the conservative movement.
None.
I'm sure she's a nice lady. I wish her all the best. But calling for hate speech laws, calling for more Second Amendment issues, and rolling out the Epstein in a way that just it really makes me sad. She's one of the few cabinet picks that I'm like, ooh. Along with, I don't know what to make of Kash Patel yet. I don't know what to make of him. A lot of promises not kept. I hope he can manage through the swamp. But just a note, no disrespect to the ladies. There's some great ladies, and Kristi Noem has surpassed expectations. I think she either had ChatGPT write her book or a ghostwriter, because no one writes about shooting their own dog and then puts it into their run for governor book. That's wild.
Duly noted.
That's wild. It's like,
Although the context of that, if people understood,
I understand, but if there was no way that you could at least sequester your dog from the farm animal, I'm just saying, it's like, dude, that's wild. It's wild that she wrote that in a book.
Yep.
That was her problem.
I wrote that in my book.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Moving along. Next cut is going to be this. Before we get to it, this sort of mentality of allowing the left to continue to take the ground. We don't say, it's like, okay. It's like being with a small child. Okay, please just move the car. Please get out of the car. Oh, no. You can't run over me. Oh, no. No, there's adults in the room. It's time for us to start acting that way. It's like, no, get out of the car or you will be arrested. Try to run over an officer, you will be shot. That needs to be applied to this group. We're seeing Somalis overrun police officers, and we're seeing in this whole Minneapolis, Minnesota immigration experiment where we just dump off a bunch of average 68 IQ individuals into an American city. This is what we're seeing, and it is not pretty. So they're mocking ICE, which is fine. Start to arrest some, please, because it's going to get worse.
Like a bunch of crazy people.
68 IQ adults from another country
Yep.
bring their third world country with them.
Yep.
They don't know any different.
Yeah.
And they turn a prosperous country into
crap.
a third world country. Just look.
Look at what it's turning into. Look at the
Look. Look.
Safe.
Right there.
This is like Bane territory. I'm telling you. Like, we're watching Gotham. Like, thank you, Mr. Producer. Like, this is. Do you feel safe? Do you feel safe in your ivory tower?
That is the type of stuff that goes on in third world countries right there.
And it's being perpetrated on officers by this insane cycle of immigration policy that has no value. So I cannot emphasize enough that needs to be taken care of with the National Guard.
Ricky Roush, that's an interesting stat that you're providing there. I want
Read
to
it, please.
look at that a little closer. It says only about 7.5% of approximately 17,500 state and local law enforcement agencies operating nationwide have 287G agreements with ICE. If that is true, that is very disturbing. That's extremely disturbing. That is wrong.
Okay, so I'm assuming what you're saying is that they will work with ICE. Those are agreements to work with ICE.
Yes.
Okay, well,
So, and I
hold on. Let me finish.
go ahead.
So my understanding is they don't have to work with ICE, but they can't interfere with ICE. If they don't have one of those agreements, they cannot interfere with what ICE is doing.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, that's
this
kind
is
of
the issue.
important.
No, this is the issue. When you've got somebody that is in your jail cell, ICE wants to know about it. If you got a foreigner in there, they want to know about it. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong on this, I thought they were required to make that known.
It's a state
That's not it has nothing to do with what you just stated there. It's everything to do with follow the law. When we're talking about these agreements, the 287Gs, I've not dug into the depth of that. But
So,
if
here we
that
go.
is true,
The illegal, so ICE's 287G program, this is from, sorry guys, this is just being brought up by someone in the live chat, so I don't have it on the screen here. But it's ICE, the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act of 1996, added 287G to the Immigration and Nationality Act, authorizing United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to delegate state and local law officers with the authority to perform specified immigration officer functions under ICE's direction and oversight. So basically, you're allowing them to come in. There are some jurisdictions that wouldn't want that. Now, what we're seeing is not just we want to have our own domain and not be completely taken over by ICE, but we're also seeing active blocking. We're actively watching police. And what you're going to is, maybe you want to hold your authority, but you still have to protect Minneapolis. You can't vacate downtown Minneapolis while people's homes or businesses are being destroyed.
You know, one of the things that we need to remember is that when ICE is in a neighborhood, they don't know of an illegal immigrant who hasn't broken the law. Let's say my neighbor has, she brought her mother over, and her mother is an illegal alien, but she's here. But she's never broken a law. She just lives with her daughter and, goes about her way.
Outside of being here illegally, but
what I'm just trying to say is ICE has already said that we are going after the criminals. We're going after the illegal aliens that have committed crimes.
It doesn't
How
matter.
else?
It doesn't matter.
The illegal alien has committed a crime.
What I'm talking about is breaking a law, as in drugs.
She's saying what Trump's ICE, what Noam's ICE has attempted to do, right? And the borders are Tom Holman. What they've all tried to do is say, look, we're not interested in Mamacita and Abuelita. We're not worried about her. We're worried about people who are doing sex trafficking, who are doing drugs, who are thieves.
Right.
And even that's not enough. So here's the thing. I don't care. Take Abuelita. I'm done. Like, personally, I am past it, because if they will kill ICE officers for whom they assume is Abuelita, and it's actually some child pedo or something like that.
Right, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't care. Take them all and kick them out. But it's the most merciful thing
I
you can
agree.
do.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. What I'm saying is when ICE shows up, if ICE were to show up in my neighborhood, I would be concerned that we have a criminal, not a dangerous criminal, somebody who has really gotten recognition because they have done something, bad, and I want ICE there to take care of them. I'm not going to be thinking, oh, they're kidnapping families. This is not what's happening.
But they're not listening. They're watching CNN and CBS and MSNBC, and they're getting those ideas, right?
Nauseating.
And guys, even Fox kind of sucks. I'm sorry. They've done a really bad job in the last few years. And of course, look at who they're owned by and what they believe, and look at who's not allowed to say what they want to say. Just saying, Fox is largely controlled opposition. Okay. And that's just the nature of the game. So everyone's listening to those folks, and they never get to see a good aspect of the truth. So of course they believe they're going after Abuelita. It's like, oh, they're kidnapping people. They're kidnapping people. Right now they're going after rapists, murderers, thugs, thieves.
Yes. That's who they're going after.
And they're still blocking them. So I'm sorry. You've lost your vote. Don't care. We won the vote. I'm not saying you lost your vote. I'm saying we don't care anymore what you think about the vote of public opinion. There you go. That's where I'm at. You've lost your vote in the vote of public opinion. You are on the side of pedophiles, rapists, thieves, and murderers. You're on the side of Maduro, the dictator. You're on the side of Russia when Trump is landing Navy SEALs on Russia's dark fleet.
How things have changed.
It's almost like you guys are totally beholden to the ideas of the people who are paying the paychecks for these rioters, and they just move. They do whatever they want. It's almost like their worldview is not founded on anything, and that's why people are looking to Christianity right now. And I'm not talking about your Joel Osteen style Christianity. That's why a lot of people are moving to the Southern Baptists. They are moving to Catholicism. They are moving to Orthodox. That's why they're moving to some of these groups where we don't have women pastors. I'm going to rub some people wrong, okay? It's not because women are less. It's because there are roles, hierarchies, callings.
Yeah.
That's why people are moving away from the mainline Protestant denominations. That's why Southern Baptist is still kind of strong. That's why, again, Catholicism is seeing a change in the amount of people who are going out. There are people coming back. They're looking for that Orthodox, looking for something real. Guys, now is the time, more than ever, to have a foundation, because the left doesn't. They don't have one. And it's only going to get worse. They're only going to become more and more confused. Speaking of confusing, while all of this is going on here in Minneapolis, I want you guys to take a look at this next cut Mr. Bruce is going to pull up of a protest that's going on right now in Iran.
Oh, wow.
That's an American and an Israeli flag. If you're on audio, you may not see this. No one is stepping on it. Oh, 2 people step on it. What happens?
Oh! کجا؟
There are hundreds of people on the street protesting for their freedom.
What did they
Thank
say?
you. Saying, get off these flags, because there's an American and Israeli flag. There's like 80 or 100 people in the frame. 2 people start to walk on the flag, and everyone says, no, you get off. You do not touch you do not step on the American or Israeli flag. Why are Iranians doing that? Why are Iranians doing that?
They're on the edge of freedom.
They're on the edge of freedom.
And I'm praying for their freedom. I'll tell you, I think what they're doing is very bold, because, they could bring the military in and just take them all out, and they would do that.
And someone in the chat is saying it's old footage. Yes. But why are they doing that then? And why do we see an interest in it now?
And this is probably the worst that I've ever seen it in Iran right now. You're talking a lot of, I want to call it violent activity. There's a lot of burning going on.
So, and right now it turned hot in the last couple of days while they were preparing everything.
They're burning down federal buildings there.
In Iran. So we have these white liberal women who are the suburban white liberals who think they are this oppressed class. And what are they doing? They're upstaging a real revolt that's happening in Iran right now. And I actually want to pull in just a moment. Steve has something he wants to say, but I want to pull up in just a moment someone's actual thoughts from the last couple of days. It's an older film. But look at the difference in the respect. Okay, you have one side of the world thinking like, okay, wait a minute. There is a foundation. We want to be like these other countries. Now let's look at what they're saying. Go ahead, Steve, real quick.
Yeah. We're seeing all of this going on in Iran, and what's Khomeini? He's thinking about running off to Russia because why? He is scared to death.
He should be. Run.
His only thing is saving his hide and running off to Russia.
Well, they're always thinking, we'll rebuild, come back, take over. That's all they're
Well, that's always their thought.
That's what dictators do.
Yeah, sure.
Unless you're Maduro and you're
But
looking inside of a cage in the United States. But I do love the irony of Maduro saying, "Come and get me," and Trump saying, "Okay, I will."
Well, and the thing is, I think with what's going on in Iran, they're in a very precarious position.
Yes.
I think Cuba's in a very precarious position, and word in the media right at the moment is that Trump very well may be ready to hit Iran for killing U.S. people.
Yep.
And boy, I'll tell you what.
Hit him military.
Well, and that's just it.
Hit him big.
When Trump hits, it is hard. It is quick.
It's decisive.
It is very decisive.
Do you know what nobody has talked about? And I saw an article this week, and I thought, well, that's just weird. Was that the UK and the French attacked ISIS in Syria? Did anybody hear about that? Did anybody hear anything? I read that and thought, since when? Are they getting boldened because of Trump? I mean, these people don't do anything.
French don't. I mean,
so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And so I actually want to pull up a clip and real quick, let's go ahead and see what some of these guys are saying over in Iran. Go ahead and pull it up, Mr. Producer.
This video is to all of my non-Iranian friends who believe in human rights.
Amen.
The Islamic regime cut off the internet again in Iran, bro, in 2026. Last time that they did that, 1,500 people were missing, and they found them 2 years after, dumped in a dam in the near of Tehran. Be the voice, stand out for the Iranian people. Share this video, share something, do something, say something, don't be silent.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. So I don't know the entire story of what he's speaking to, and it's worth looking at. If it's true, it's easy, it's an easy belief for me. You're looking at a despotic regime, and someone in the live chat says, hey, well, now you're making love to the jihadis. You hated them last week. A, we don't hate people. We hate actions. Mm-hmm. Okay. B, I can want a freer Iran, one that is much less jihadi than it is right now. Right now, this current government is funding Hezbollah, Hamas. They're fighting. You know, the Kurds. What's the name of that force? So they're funding most of the nonsense in that region.
Right.
We get rid of Iran. Hopefully they get rid of it themselves. I am not interested in a regime change war. If they do it internally,
absolutely,
I'm all for it.
Yes.
And someone's going to say in the comments, "Oh, but the Jews are doing it." Maybe they are, and I hope they figure out what they're doing, because they've made some huge mistakes in the past. Hamas is ultimately a Mossad concoction. Aware, know it. This is part of statecraft. Sometimes people do it very wrong. Agreed. But these guys want freedom. And Elon Musk recently opened up Starlink to the entire country so that they could continue to have internet. The only reason we see some of these videos, again, that first video was an older one, but you see the respect, and it is specifically what we want to lay out here. See that versus what we see in Minnesota right now. So those are people who've actually lived through oppression versus people who have no idea what oppression is.
Right, absolutely.
And we need to make that point clear. It's like, look, we see this in the Middle East and countries that are closed down. Where's that in you? Because you are very privileged to live here. And not in the way you think, and not in the way you say in the university. No. People fought, bled, and died to make sure that you can live here. And I'm sorry, you don't get to run over ICE agents without impunity. You don't get to block ICE activity when they're trying. You don't get to block any. How about this? You don't get to protect any pedophiles, any thieves, any murderers from any law enforcement. Maybe you need to, if you don't trust the system, by the way, sometimes I don't trust the system. Maybe you need to make sure you reform it with voting and not be a paid agitator for the past year or so with your lesbian lover. going around and blocking law enforcement. Paid agitator for you. She quit her job. She quit her job with your lesbian lover, and they were out paid agitators. So these two are not the same. The ICE officer and what's his nuts who shot Charlie Kirk allegedly, not the same. These are not the same people.
No.
And I'm sorry, it is very different if someone says, "Oh, there's violence on both sides." No, it's not.
It's a
you are
different type.
violently blocking law enforcement from taking down child traffickers, drug traffickers. You want to have the drug debate again right now? Okay, we can, but these are people who are also killing people while trafficking drugs, okay? We can have the drug debate. By the way, guys, I'm less and less I'm tired of the drug debate. I don't think it makes sense. Either we're conservative or we're not. This libertarian thing is not working out for us. I'm just watching it. It doesn't work. So again, make your opinions, draw your conclusions. Any thoughts?
I will just say this, and one of the things that a family member posted, it was true. She's, everybody's saying she was peaceful, but they were saying the same people who are saying that this woman was murdered were saying that Charlie Kirk deserved it, and that you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, and that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Sons of Liberty had a comment in here. I have no idea what's happening in Iran. I do know it was a way better there before hard Islam crushed their modernized nation. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
You can look at the before and after of the way women were treated.
Yes.
And just as a general immigration policy, if you beat your women, can we just say like you're not allowed here unless we know that you don't beat your women? Like, is that? I feel like that's a really safe bellwether.
I like that idea.
If you don't treat your women like crap, maybe we'll consider you.
I would just say, just in fairness, you can't beat your men either.
Well,
yeah.
Just the idea of Islam is not compatible with Western philosophy.
No,
it's not. So if you're an
just
Islamist
not.
supremacist, if you're coming here and you want to put Sharia law out,
this is not for you.
Get out.
Right.
If you want Sharia law, go to one of these leftist or these leftist loved hellholes like Iran. Go ahead, go. Be my guest. We'll raise a GoFundMe.
There's plenty of other countries.
But I did hear this week. It's interesting that you brought that up because I heard this week a testimony about a Muslim who became a Christian, and he was saying the reason that Muslims are coming to America because they want better things for their family, but they don't want to leave Islam because what they feel is the third world country that they came from is not doing Islam correctly. Mm-hmm. So they come here. Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Muhammad married his Aisha at 6 and waited until her pelvic bones had grown a little bit, and at 9.
But I'm just saying that
it's not the same. We're not the same.
They're not coming here to embrace American culture. They're coming here for the benefits, but they feel that if Islam was done correctly, they would have the benefit.
It's not. Don't look at the followers. Look at the founders. Whenever you're judging an ideology, don't look at the followers. Look at the founders. I love my Mormon friends. Okay, love you guys. Love you. I don't think Joseph Smith was a consistent fellow. I don't think he was necessarily a great prophet, and I believe what he wrote in his Book of Mormon was ultimately contradictory to the Bible. So again, all due respect, don't look at your nice Muslim friends. I have a Muslim family. Okay, I have Muslim friends, and I love you all. You're awesome people. I love you. Muhammad, and I'm not attributing this to you, but Muhammad was a bad person. I'm sorry, peace be upon him. Okay, so the fatwa is 30 seconds late there because I didn't say that first. He's a bad person. Jesus Christ, good person. Buddha, self-admitted, a little bit confused, and he said you shouldn't even follow me. Okay, don't look at the followers. The followers can be nice. They can be also very mean. They can also be very incorrect. Look at the founders, and you'll understand better what a religion is. Islam. Look at the founder. Pedophile warlord. Not my cup of tea. I'm sorry, guys. Mm-hmm. Just disagree with you on that, and we can still be friends if you're a Muslim. But if you want Sharia law, I'm going to suggest that you please leave my country. And we really should stop. We should really stop importing them
with a boot to the
backside.
That's it, buddy.
If you want Sharia law,
I got a 9.5. I'll be happy to loan them. Right.
That is it.
With a foot in it.
So, final thoughts, Charlie? I know you had something you want to say. Are you
Nope.
good?
Good.
All right, so we are going to roll into something interesting and a little bit more fun. We've got some trivia for you, and you'll be surprised. This is Nikki Knows Facts 5
We're going right
U.S.
into
travel destinations. Things that make you go,
going into some light.
Who wrote that?
Light, and easy to talk about, easy to digest. Okay.
Charlie wrote that opening.
Did you
Yes,
like
he
it?
did.
Yeah, he
he
did.
did. Of course you did.
Things that make you go,
All right, let's look at number 1. We're going to look at New York City. Now, I will tell you.
New York City?
Yes.
Get a rope. No.
New York City, Charlie and I
Let it roll.
were born 400 miles from New York City. And Charlie has been to New York City, but I have not. And I have no desire to go to New York City. But we're going to talk about it because a lot of people love New York City, love to go
These
there.
two hate New York City, if you haven't figured that out. What's the fact?
Okay, the fact is, though, New York City has over 700 miles of subway track. Do you know you could take that and it's enough to reach Chicago and come back halfway?
That's crazy.
That's a
That's-
long way.
It's a lot of subway.
Now,
And a lot of excrement and Spider-Man costumes
Oh.
hopping over.
Oh, you're gonna love the
people
rest
who
of
are-
this.
Okay, keep going.
now, Central Park, and everybody hears about Central Park in New York City. Do you know that Central Park is actually larger than Monaco? Is there another one? Is it? I don't know, Charlie. You're gonna
There's
have to tell him
next cut.
Next cut for that.
Yep.
Keep going.
Okay,
Mr.
there we go.
Producer's confused.
Get a rope.
I mean, look at the city around it. It's
The
huge.
Central Park is larger than Monaco.
Yes.
I
That's
didn't know
saying
Central Park.
something.
I didn't know Central Park was larger than Monaco. That's.
I did not know that.
Monaco's small though.
That's interesting.
I think they just have a track like in the center, and that's,
How many?
I think you're right.
If
it is small.
if there was a rope there, would we get in trouble?
no.
Ah! Well, all right. No, we're going down the dark.
so what's your next
We're going
one?
down.
Just politically incorrectness
know.
there. I'm just saying.
we're going to the dark side here now.
Okay.
There are secret speakeasies still operating behind unmarked doors, phone booths,
You
and
mismarked it,
even
but go back up.
inside restaurants.
There's what?
Oh,
Speakeasies.
Oh,
Do you know what those are?
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody. Okay. Now everybody's going to be
Place
able.
for illicit everything.
Yes.
Illicit everything.
I want to find the phone booth with the door behind it.
Yeah.
All right. The city has its own underground ecosystem. Of course, you could believe that. Biologists study wildlife living entirely below street level. Is those the zombies? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, someone in the chat's they probably already said it. I haven't looked. It's probably the Jews. Yeah, have you seen the Jews crowd? There's this one thing where
Not nice.
It's a meme. It's
Not
a meme.
nice.
Hey, I love
so
my Jewish friends.
so this is interesting. J-Lac on the chat. My mom grew up in Queens, rode subway all over New York City as a child alone
Yeah,
in 30s and 40s. And
I believe that.
It's dramatically different today. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's probably some kids that are still riding it alone, but the danger level is so much higher.
yeah.
So much higher.
Yeah, it's terrible that you have to do that. Okay, moving on to the next one. We are going to the Grand Canyon. And you can't see the whole canyon from one single point. It's too big for human perspective. That's amazing. I really would I haven't been to the Grand Canyon, but I would love to go there. Now,
it's fun.
yes, now here's interesting. Fossils of marine life are found at the top, meaning it was once under an ocean. Duh.
Uh oh. Global catastrophic flood.
What?
Yeah.
What? What's that?
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we can't say that. Anyway. Keep
Oh,
going.
yeah. Okay.
But now here's something though.
Oh, we do.
Temperatures at the rim and the river, which means at the top and the bottom, it can vary by 30 to 40 degrees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
You know, and
absolutely.
I have read, I don't know if anybody's ever been to the Grand Canyon, but some people can. The problem is if you walk down into the canyon, which is easy, but it's really a trek to walk back up.
Well, because it's a long way, and if you're not physically conditioned, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that.
okay.
I've done that hike.
I want
you?
to go to the parts of the canyon where you're like not supposed to be.
Oh, I do too. Why?
And
Why?
search in there.
I do too.
Right.
I want to go there too. That's probably where the aliens are.
Yeah, and those pyramids and the Aztecs
I know.
and
We've
the
lost the show.
Egyptians, right?
Okay.
Right. And the mummies
Producer, next one.
and the red-haired giants.
Steve, you're running out
Right?
of time.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We're moving to New Orleans. New Orleans. Now here's this is interesting. Many cemeteries are above ground because the water table is too high. You know,
And listen, back in Katrina, they
Forgot
had
the
issues
lizard
with
people.
this,
floating body.
Yeah.
floating caskets and whatnot. And
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking, but I'm still trying to figure out, why did we ever think
Build
it
up.
was smart to build a city on a swamp like that?
So the Dakotas have been proposed as the ultimate state pen. So has Louisiana. Just put all the criminals in there and let them drown in the swamp.
Well, and she's getting but she's getting to another key point here.
Okay, go to the next
for New Orleans, which is
This one, the city is one of the most
that wasn't the one, but keep going.
linguistically unique in the U.S., blending French, Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences.
I love the
Hey,
French
man.
Quarter during the day. Even
Hey,
if it's
man.
too male, I don't walk in the French Quarter
Yeah.
at night.
But here,
Yeah,
now,
man.
here's something too in New Orleans is it's sinking.
insensitive, sir.
Some areas drop
Keep it
over
up.
an inch per year. Now I got to tell you something. That's scary. If
I don't
you're-
know how they measure an inch per year, but what's really interesting is I believe that to be true, and which further makes me go, why did they rebuild the
Well,
dikes and everything, or the protective
Well, if you're
systems?
sinking, if there's a building, that's going to have problems with your pipes and things like that. That's going to cause problems.
So
Thinking in your foundation.
anybody in the
and
chat, anybody in the chat from New Orleans, because I'd be interested in knowing what kind of things they see in homes there, because you would think if it's really dropping like an inch a year,
You're going to see crack.
you're going to see a lot of issues.
Yeah. And it might be just in some areas they don't have a lot of housing. It could possibly be because of that. Okay, and here's another fact in New Orleans. It's considered the birthplace of jazz. I don't think anybody's really surprised over that one. But all right, moving on to our next location. Bring up the next.
Yeah, it's
Like,
he jumped the gun. Keep going.
Yellowstone National Park. It's over. Now, it has over half of the world's geysers. Some hot springs are hot enough to instantly boil water.
How would you like to go there and do some cooking?
But I'm thinking,
it'd be pretty cool.
So actually, when I was in the Azores, one of the ways that they cooked a lot of their food were over some of the geothermal vents.
Yep.
And it was
That'd
actually
be
very
cool.
expensive to eat at those restaurants. By
Yep.
the way, they I think they had a permitting process where they were allowed to use those thermal vents to cook their food.
And actually,
That
while we're
would
on the
be
topic
cool.
of Iceland, correct, or Greenland,
And for
correct me if I'm wrong, they actually use a lot of geothermal technology
Yes.
up there.
Yes,
for-
they do.
For heating
It's
homes and
well,
stuff, really.
for energy as well. Very
Wow,
common.
that's cool.
yeah, really good. But it's interesting that over half of them are there. The park is go to the next cut. The park is larger than Rhode Island and Delaware combined. As a matter of fact, Charlie and I were close to Yellowstone Park one
I've
time.
actually been in it.
And we were going to go, but there was a snowstorm coming. And Charlie was like, we got
We're
to
not chancing it.
yeah, we got to get off this mountain because I haven't driven in snow in a long time. And then the last thing for Yellowstone sits on a super volcano that spans parts of 3 states.
So
Which-
yeah, one caldera hiccup could be very, very bad.
Yeah, for the United States, period.
Well, yeah. So if it's a full eruption, which the timetable on that is several, it's tens of thousands of years is the scale, is what it's estimated to be. But every time it erupts, if it really is tens of thousands of years or shorter, it is catastrophic. Like we're
like
talking
75% of the U.S.
nuclear winter across the globe. We're
Yep.
talking about crop failures. It's very
Yeah,
catastrophic.
that's just hope it never happens.
There have been plans to detonate stuff over the caldera to, like, as a form of terrorism or whatever. Like that would be an
Yeah.
instigation if you could get that dome
Yeah,
to rupture partly.
I would
Yeah.
take
Well,
out
it'd
the United
destroy the
States.
whole
But it could
earth.
take
It'd
out
be
a
nasty.
lot of people as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Outside
Okay.
of the United States.
Okay, next cut. We're moving to Washington, D.C. and
My
the
favorite
Library
city.
of Congress.
Oh,
Of course, I think, do you know that it's the largest library in the world? Yeah, we should send our congressmen there and congresswomen to go there and read some stuff, get them on track.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
like the Constitution.
Yeah, that would be very good. Next cut here. Now, did you know the Capitol has a crypt that was intended for George Washington, but he's not buried there?
Okay,
It's
now
actually,
somebody tell me they already knew that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
See, that sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. It's amazing though.
It's very pretty.
You know, he was a Mason, but that's another issue.
Yes, he was.
He was a Mason.
They had a lot of plans.
Yes.
The Masons.
Didn't we not
did.
on our senior trip
They still do.
go to George Washington's? We went to his
Yes.
mansion. Did we go to his grave? Was he there, buried in his?
I don't remember that. I don't.
I don't remember.
That was a great
either.
trip.
A number of our founding fathers were Masons.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Yeah. Well, that's part of why everything was laid out so well in D.C.
That's
But
right.
anyway, yeah.
But anyway,
Many. Okay, so here's a couple of other things. Many monuments are aligned with intentional symbolism,
And that is true.
not random placement. Huh?
Masons.
Okay, here
Keep
you go.
going. I'm sorry. Keep going.
I bet a lot of people know this one. There are underground tunnels connecting the Capitol buildings. I bet you know that.
Yep.
I bet a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
do know that
Mm-hmm.
part. Sure. All right, that's where we traveled this week.
I watch National
That's-
Treasure. No.
interesting.
I watched National Treasure. Yeah.
So, what's your guys' favorite place out of those 5?
Out of
We
those
had a
5.
ball going to Washington, D.C. As a matter of fact, we went there on our senior trip in high school. And when our 2 oldest boys were
These two
young
are high school sweethearts, by the way.
Yes, we were. Yes, we are.
Charlie and
still, still are.
She's a lot better looking and looks a whole lot more like she did when she first got married to me.
Those are good words. Brown point for you.
I would say she is a lot better looking. I'd agree with that one. Sorry, Charlie,
lost
but
it again.
Steve,
sorry
Steve,
about that one, Charlie.
Steve,
but
Steve, if you thought Charlie was better looking, I'd have a lot of questions. But
yeah,
moving
I
on.
know.
But to your point, when we took the 2 older boys there, and that was a fantastic,
Oh, we had so much fun. So much fun.
fantastic trip. And again, back to the issue of, safety. Could I take my grandkids there today? It makes you think a little more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
world. It's a different world. So tell us your favorite of those 5 down below.
Oh.
Moving on to the next bit is stop slamming on the table there. You're pulling a cord out. It's okay. Next one, we're moving on to some Steve's shenanigans.
I can go shoot me a buffalo.
Nope.
Stay out of my garbage can. I'll keep it to myself.
I'll try to keep it to myself.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump into some shenanigans, Steve. Go.
Right on.
So, Mr. Producer, go ahead. Next cut.
Next
There you
up,
go. Yeah.
sir. And now, first off, we're going to talk about safe rooms. Now, when you have someone break in, is a safe room really that safe? Now, what you got to think about is what is going on at the time when you want to go to your safe room. Has somebody already broke in? And if they have, is it safe to travel to your safe room?
So let's back up.
Say-
Let's back up 2 steps, right? Because
Right.
people think about, hey, I'm going to build a safe room. I'm going to build a whole strategy.
Correct.
And kids, whenever there's danger, you're going to go to the safe room. Well, you might want to articulate that plan just a little bit further
Correct.
before you execute that.
Correct. Because there's times when maybe your safe room may not be so safe to travel to.
The traveling to is what
It's the
people
traveling
get it
to the safe room that could be the problem. Getting your kids to the safe room. Where is the safe room located in your house?
And Steve, a thought that comes to
That's-
me is when we were raising our kids, in our one house, our bedroom was downstairs and our kids were upstairs. And then in our second house, we were upstairs, but one of the children slept downstairs. And so it would be like, how do you coordinate that?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of distance to travel if somebody's in the house.
So
Correct.
The question comes is when you're planning your family safety strategy, you just need to be thinking about it. Some people go through a lot. I've got a family member, I won't say who, planned out an entire safe room from the ground up, is building his own home. He never got it finished to the point where it would be achievable during a home invasion. It's
Yeah.
only good for tornadoes. So, and it's still good for tornadoes, but it's not something that you would want to direct the children to in the middle of a home invasion, because it is actually in every way, shape, and form outside of, like, the kids would have to cross through every single point of ingress where an intruder
Correct.
would be, and they would too. So there's no way for them to get to their safe room. So if you're ever building a house from the ground up, or if you're designating, like you're saying, our bedroom, our master bedroom is the safe room, make sure people know it's like that's before the intruder gets in. While the intruder's in, grab your gun. If you have kids, get underneath the bed. Try to make sure that you're not visible, and let mommy and daddy take care of it, because that's how it.
And here, could you go to the next slide on this one? This here is another option for safe rooms.
Looks a lot more like a storm shelter.
Okay, and that's what it basically, you can use it as a storm shelter or a safe room. They are also bulletproof. They're about the size of a closet or a little smaller, like about a 10 by 15. You can put them in a room or in a hallway. That way, your children or whoever it is you're trying to make sure they make it to a safe room don't have to make this egress across the house to the safe room. All they have to do is just get up, just like crawling under the bed. They just get up, go to the corner of the room, and enter this little shelter, close the door, lock it, and then they're safe.
Yeah. So Ricky
which is
wrote
an option.
in the live chat says fighting age men typically don't go to the safe room. I would say this. I would say fighting age men do not go to the safe room until their whole family is in. Right. And so that's the purpose is
Correct.
You're locking yourself in somewhere where it's hard to get to, where all your valuables are kept, your most valuables.
Yeah.
And you've got, this is the one time I would say shotgun is an awesome tool. Have it pointed right to the door. It's going to remove a pound of flesh from anything you pointed at or more.
Right.
That is a time for your shotgun, not for clearing your house, not for if you have, you have kids, you hear that crash and their bedrooms are further away from you than the crash is. That's where your fighting age man does get up. He does pick up an AR or a pistol, hopefully, not a shotgun. Unless that's what you have. If that's what you have, it's what you have. But something more maneuverable, something that if you're trained with it, you're able to maneuver a lot easier with an AR than you are a shotgun. And that's why I recommend, and that's why they hate you having one. But you maneuver to there. If you can clear everyone into the safe room, that's the only time a fighting age male would be in a safe room.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's the only time that he would end up in the safe room. Otherwise, he's out and the rest of the family's in the safe room.
Business, yeah.
Right. And he's out taking care of business and whatever that might be.
Someone making it says didn't help Maduro. I agree. But my understanding of that, I could be wrong, fact check me. But my understanding of that situation was they had not actually closed the vault doors.
Correct.
So we
That's
moved
correct.
so fast.
That's what I heard.
We got them when they were just about ready to close the doors, and we swooped in and grabbed them. So
Yep.
that's the issue with the safe room. Is that the idea is that you have some amount of warning, like a hurricane or a tornado. This is a good thing to have if you have warning. It's a good thing to have in a home invasion, but otherwise it could become a liability if you haven't thought it through.
I don't
Correct.
think I could live in Oklahoma without a storm shelter.
You absolutely want a storm shelter in Oklahoma.
And now we just talked about safe rooms, and that is where the end result ends up.
Yeah. So let's
now,
go further into
here is what you do prior to your safe room and helping you get to that safe room. Next slide. security window film. Now, there are numerous companies out there. You can even go to Amazon and buy this stuff, okay? I wouldn't go to Amazon to buy this kind of stuff, okay?
Hey, but I saved 30% on it, Steve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you'll probably
It's like your
show up that why you paid 30% less.
It's like a tourniquet that you got 3 for $15, but the windlass breaks on you. Instead of just going to NAR, in North American Rescue,
and you
buying a
still
real
bleed
tourniquet.
out.
Well, no, yeah, going to NAR, North American Rescue, and getting a real tourniquet for $30.
Right.
3 for 15 doesn't seem like that good of a deal.
No, it doesn't. Now,
and that's happened with those Chinese tourniquets. It's actually really, really terrible.
Yes.
So don't buy. I got in trouble one time for saying Chinese tourniquets, but anyway, go ahead. Politically incorrect. Keep
now this window film it helps cut down on the shattering of glass. It cuts down on people being able to break in and being able to get through the glass and through the windows a whole lot. Some of it is a lot harder it makes it to break and get through. Now, this stuff is not bulletproof,
but
all it does is it'll help slow down a bullet, and all it does is allows like a bullet hole and doesn't shatter the glass out.
Well, it keeps the glass.
It keeps the glass all together so that you have to go and knock it all out to get through instead of just shooting it and it all falling
It
down.
maintains the structural integrity after impact on some level. Yeah,
right.
bricks and sledgehammers, you still have to fight. You have to cut the film. If you were smart, you'd smash it and then you would cut
film and whatnot. Correct.
But it's hard to do.
And correct me if I'm wrong. That'd almost be a double-edged sword. What if I would want to, especially during a fire?
Yeah.
I mean, I would want to be able to break that window and get out.
Not necessarily. Have good exits. Plan good exits. Fortify your home. Have 2 exits out of every single area.
Correct.
Always.
If
you have an upstairs bedroom that's cut off from 2 exits, make sure you have a rope ladder that you can throw over the edge.
Correct.
Of your.
But I could see people in Chicago wanting this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I tell you.
Make sure you have 2 exits. That's all I got to say.
Yep.
So next one, Mr. Producer.
Next one. Home alarm systems. Now, if you'll notice, man, and anybody that's got a home alarm, you know as well as I do, there is so much you can do with home alarms now.
You can have
get them on your phone, motion detectors. You can have boundary sensors.
So there's a new thing going around where people are setting up an AI webcam that starts to talk to the person.
Yes.
And it does full interactions back and forth.
Yes.
With the person. I see you. No. Drop that hammer. I'm calling the cops. They're on their way.
Yes.
Drop the hammer. Oh, by the way, there's a 200-pound pit bull behind the door. I'm not sure you want to do that. Oh yeah. By the way, and it just escalates, right?
Yeah.
And it's all based off an AI interaction.
Yeah.
That's a good use of AI.
That's not bad. Not bad at all. That is good use. But all of these things that I'm mentioning here helps you get your family to this safe room quicker and easier and helps you be able to see the bad guys coming before they get into the house. Yeah. This helps, okay? Next slide, Captain.
While you're bringing that up, Omnidirectional here, he's got a very interesting comment. Yep. I'm an alarm dealer. Avoid the do-it-yourself. If you are serious, call a pro.
Right.
Or it is the toy.
I would agree.
I would say there are people with the intelligence to set it up themselves, but that is definitely
do your homework.
It's in the 1% or higher. I totally agree with you.
Yes, yes, I'd go with that. Pepper spray. I would suggest probably just about everybody probably own a thing of pepper spray.
Why don't you like it?
And keep it in their house.
If I wanted pepper spray, I'd have rock salt in the shotgun.
Duly noted.
Yes, but especially
Now-
for women or teenagers,
The problem is there are people who will eat pepper spray.
There are.
Just to get used to it, and it doesn't matter. It is.
There are.
It's not 50-50 in any way, shape, or form, but there's a lot of people, they can get hit with OC, and they'll just get mad at you. And
There are those people that's just like kicking some people between the legs.
I think OC spray is way overrated as a self-defense measure.
And it really all kind of depends on the how do you say it? The amount of pepper that is in the spray itself.
So Clay Spencer says bear spray is better. I would agree. You're going to find a much more higher consistency.
Yes,
I live in a
capanoids or however you say it.
I live in a free state. I have 60 rounds in my magazine, and I have
How many?
60 rounds.
Okay, that's cool.
Right. I live in a free state.
Yeah.
And I also have a 1-inch slug behind my 3 double-aught buckshot in my home defense shotgun.
Cool.
I like that over.
I like that.
I like that over pepper spray.
I don't really use pepper spray too much either.
But it is.
I use a
if you don't
9mm personally.
Yeah. If you don't live in a free state, if you don't live in a free country, that might be your option, though.
I do want to. So, Clay Spence brought up pepper spray is illegal. I would say no,
Not in
Clay.
Texas,
It's
here.
restricted in some states. California, New York.
It depends on where you are.
Right.
That
all
is
of
true.
these things. So if you're going to bring that up, you got to say all things subject to your state law.
Yeah.
That is true. And everything here on that is being mentioned is all subject to state laws.
Yeah.
Every bit of everything that is mentioned on what I talk about is all according to anybody's state law.
Because we talk about firearms and stuff like that a lot.
Correct. Next, Captain. Lights.
Camera.
Lights.
The more
Got to have light.
Yep.
Man. Light goes out. Electricity goes out.
Have a good flashlight by your bed. It
Good. Amen on that, John
whether it's a
Arthur.
hurricane-
With plenty of lumens.
And by the way, I believe Steve's the same way, but on my daily carry and on my, things bump in the middle of the night, firearm, I have a light, because if it's your neighbor trying to pilch some milk out of your fridge, you want to know right before you shoot the person that that's just your neighbor, and maybe
Exactly.
maybe you don't shoot them. That's the purpose of a light. The light is not to have on and to just strobe through the house and let everyone know exactly where you are, the object. That's why I'm against the racking of the shotgun. I'm only racking the shotgun if I very specifically know where they are, who they are, and I think that they're not a threat.
And there's times you want to have a handheld flashlight
Yes.
going through the house because, your teenager might be out late and coming home late, and you don't want to be pointing your mounted light on your pistol at him as he's raiding the refrigerator as he's come in that night, and you'd rather be pointing your handheld light going, oh, okay, it's just you, Troy. Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So, those things are good. And personally, I'm not a big fan of USB charged type flashlights. Electricity goes out and then you're kind of boop, and they don't stay charged that long. I'm just, give me battery flashlight.
Have a good old battery flashlight.
Yeah.
Then on the outside of your home,
And then on the outside, more lights.
So
always have outside light, man.
Yes.
Our
always.
Our county's constable used to hangar his aircraft a couple hangars over from where my family lives, and he said, I wish everyone would put more lights out.
Yes.
We actually did a certification a couple of times. My dad's a MEII instructor pilot trainer, and he said, Ron says, you guys have a dog, and you let her outside, and she's in a fenced area outside. I wish more people did that. And I wish more of you guys actually put lights on the back of your houses. If people understood that is the best prevention,
yes,
cheapest prevention,
yes,
it's unbelievable.
Yes, outside light is amazing what it does on keeping people. It's just like with God. Light does what?
Chases darkness.
Chases the darkness away.
What about motion lights? Does it matter one way or the other?
I would rather have light on all the time,
Okay.
personally, instead of motion light.
Rock and roll. Interesting comment there. I live remote and I don't even have streetlights. So I'm assuming you're in a really rural area, which I used to live in a very rural area as well growing up. But we actually had, and I'd have to ask my mom about this. We had a big old lamp that went on one of our electric poles or light poles where we used to live. And so you knew when you were getting to our house. I mean, it was pretty well, it was fairly lit. So rock and roll, I would ask, did you have anything like that where you had a big old light on a tall pole out there? And when I say a tall pole, I'm talking literally a light pole. Yeah, I'm not talking about a 4-inch, metal pole. I'm talking a big wood light pole.
Right. Yep, most definitely. And I'll tell you, I'm big on outside lights.
Big deal.
Yes, sir. Keeps the bad ones away. Next one. And of course, everybody knows I'm big on hand-to-hand skills. If you don't like guns that go pow,
that's the way
and
to
they
go.
scare you, this is the thing to do. Hand-to-hand skills. They always with you.
I prefer guns that don't go pow. That's why I own a Taurus. No.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
That makes, I can understand.
So unless you prefer guns that go pow on their own, and then you could own a P320. But
that's
another
true.
issue.
That's that's another topic in itself, right there.
Topic, yeah.
But
so
that's too funny.
Yeah.
Next one, Mr. Producer.
Mr. Producer. Yes. Now,
big dog.
We talked about dogs.
Or a little dog.
Now, I'm going to tell you, dogs are great. It doesn't matter if they're big dogs or little dogs.
Next one, Mr.
And the next one, Mr. Producer, or little dogs, the Chihuahua.
Just because you don't like little dogs, Charlie, doesn't mean that.
Now, I'm going to tell you something about both of them. I'm a big fan of bulldogs. I'm a bulldog guy. I raised bulldogs for many years.
They're both noisemakers.
They both have a purpose. A big dog can be used as a guardian, can be used in self-defense purposes and protect your children and yourself, your home, do bite work, all kinds of stuff you can train them to do for that purpose. Also, small dogs like that little Chihuahua, you can't breathe without that little dog
knowing that you're in the building,
that you're in that home.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, and they will let you know it.
But they'll slobber all over the home invader.
And here's my position.
But they'll let you know they're in that house, man.
Some golden snow.
If you've got somebody that's looking to attack you and they're in the home, regardless of whether the Chihuahua has sounded the alarm, they're easily taken care of. If I'm going to have a dog, I want it to serve multiple purposes. 1, to alert. 2, to eat. If you understand what I'm saying.
Eat food or eat them?
No, them.
Eat
them. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I kind of I got to where I kind of liked both of them. Tell you truth. The little one, man, right off the bat, before the big one knew it, the little one knew what was happening. And then the big one followed the little one and ate whatever the little one was barking at.
Yeah. Hey, you got your full ecosystem there.
You do.
So you might be
it worked great, man.
By the way, you might be a redneck or Mr. Producer if you live in a household that has more dogs than humans. So
we have 4.
I was that way, and I had 7 kids. And
how many dogs have you got, Ryan? You got 23?
We have 4 Chihuahua mixes.
Okay.
The Chihuahuas are cool.
Like it's down to,
oh, by the way,
wasn't it 5 or 6 at one point?
We used to have 5. The 5th one was a Shih Tzu. She died like a year ago.
Oh,
By the way,
oh.
that one Chihuahua that we showed, that one is called a deerhead Chihuahua.
A deer head chihuahua.
A deerhead Chihuahua.
Seriously?
So, Mr. Producer, Mr.
That's
Producer,
what it's called, a
are we doing a
deerhead.
song review or are we doing the screw tape?
That's up to you. I'm cool either way.
You feel like we can do the song review in 5?
In 5, let's try.
Let's do it.
Let's try
Let's do it. Song review.
Song
Go
review.
ahead and pull it up.
I love this tune.
We got to get him on there with his.
Well, Steve, you're welcome to do it. Thank you, Mr. Producer.
All right. So,
Go ahead and pull up the first cut. What song are you showing us here?
song I chose was Grandpa Tell Me About the Good Old Days by the Judds. This is a country music duo, a mother-daughter country music duo. And I chose this song to do today to look at because it's just a nice, simple, wholesome little song that I think speaks to our world and kind of where it is today. So let's jump in. Verse 1, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this world's gone crazy. Grandpa, take me back to yesterday when the line between right and wrong didn't seem so hazy.
Hmm.
Can I say something here?
Of course.
This was written in the 80s, so imagine.
It came out in 1985, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes. And we all back then thought, yeah, these people gone crazy. We had no idea how bad it was really going to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then into the chorus, did lovers really fall in love to stay? Stand beside each other come what may. Was a promise really something people kept, not just something they would say? Did families really bow their heads to pray? Did daddies really never go away? Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
Darling, how many years? Let's see. What is this year? It's 26. So 41 years. It'll be 42 in May. Yeah, we'll stick
wow.
around.
Yeah.
We'll stick around.
Well, it's because y'all
I'm
made
there.
a choice. Y'all
Yeah.
both made a choice.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Both have to make a decision.
But don't you see how this speaks to a lot of the issues going
yeah.
on in the world
Yeah, it
today?
is.
Oh yeah. 100%.
The divorce rates, the fatherlessness.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, when I hear my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents talk about the times they grew up in, were they like perfect times?
No.
Utopian times? No, they had their issues too, but it's just when I listen to their stories, it just seems like a much better, more simpler,
Divorce.
wholesome time.
Divorce was a quarter what it was. The cost of a house was only double your year's income on average. And let's see what else was going on. In the 80s, is about either 10% or 20% of kids were born out of wedlock. Now it's 41. What else was different in the 80s? Abortion was nowhere near as high. I think the yearly was 200,000 somewhere back there, as opposed to 1-point-something million every year. Yeah, those were better times, objectively.
Yep.
Keep going. Not to be the downer, but yes, they were better times.
Verse 2, Grandpa, everything is changing fast. We call it progress, but I just don't know. And Grandpa, let's wander back into the past and paint me a picture of long ago.
And you know what? The thing that strikes me here, that's written before computers came along.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen really solidly until early 90.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, then things moved warp speed in terms of change. So, yeah.
Yep. Next one.
That's all.
That's it.
Short
You
little one.
you brought that up in the Judds. You know, they I don't know if they wrote this song. They may have, but what's so sad is that their lives, they're the ones that this was a hit for them, and yet they have what I would consider kind of sad lives.
Yeah, so someone in the comments said, Sons of Liberty, poor Ashley Judd was so pretty before she ate up the leftist life.
Yeah.
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 It's a sad thing.
Yeah.
And I think the mother there, I believe, committed suicide, which is super, super sad. And then the other girl there, she's had it rough, and her kids have had it rough. It's just rough.
Well,
Just sad. Sad.
what's good about the song is that it really speaks to love and the value of having a loving society, a loving family, a loving, just a concrete groundedness in that. And that plays really well into the next segment. We're going into the book corner.
There we go.
Screw Tape number 19. And if you're just joining us, if you have not listened to this, Screw Tape Letters, a quick overview. The Screw Tape Letters are a series of correspondence between two demons, Screw Tape the Elder Mentor and his apprentice Wormwood. In these correspondence, Screw Tape encourages Wormwood in how best to tempt Wormwood's human patient, a young man in World War II era Britain. In this thread of conversation, Lewis explores the base temptations of man and how Satan and his tempters may indeed think about our own existence and how they may work to tempt the souls of men. This week, we're doing chapter 19. It's the issue of love. What makes love so important? So, real quick, let's talk about what we're going to get into in just a moment. If I was going too fast, if I'm running too bit, or a bit too much, the concept is you've got two demons talking and they're chatting, and one of them, the older one, is telling the younger one, how can we trip up mankind, specifically the man that you are given charge of? Just like we have at least two guardian angels by tradition watching over us as Christians, Lewis hypothetically lays out that Satan assigns demons to each of us to attempt to pull us and tempt us. And if that was the case, this is how the letters, the correspondence between the two, may play out for this one patient. Folks, stop me at any point. Let's go ahead and read, because what we're going to deal with here, this is going to be interesting. Why is love so hard for the demonic to understand? Why is the idea of true love, not apathy, but true love that is interested in the best for the individual, why is that hard for mankind to grab a hold of? And why is it something that is transcendent and important? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. My dear Wormwood, I've been thinking very hard about the question in your last letter. If, as I have clearly shown, all selves are by their very nature in competition, and therefore the enemy's idea of love is a contradiction in terms, what becomes of my reiterated warning that he really loves the human vermin and really desires their freedom and continued existence? I hope, my dear boy, you have not shown my letters to anyone. Not that it matters, of course. Anyone would see that the appearance of heresy into which I have fallen is purely accidental. By the way, I hope you understood, too, that some apparently uncomplimentary references to Slubglob were purely jocular. I really have the highest respect for him. And, of course, some of the things I said about not shielding you from the authorities were not seriously meant. You can trust me to look into your interests, but do keep everything under lock and key. Real quick, if there is an order between the demons and devils of hell, you do wonder if it wouldn't have an SS-like culture.
Yeah.
Where everyone is ready to snipe and assassinate the other and pull them underneath. And so Lewis is having a little bit of fun with the hierarchies of the demonic realm and suggesting that a little bit of candor may not be a good thing for this older demon, for the younger one. Are demons older and younger? Probably not. But it is a fun exercise.
But an order, nonetheless.
There might be some sort of order. So, continuing on. The truth is, I slipped by mere carelessness into saying that the enemy really loves humans. That, of course, is an impossibility. He is one being. They are distinct from him. Their good cannot be his. All his talk about love must be a disguise for something else. He must have some real motive for creating them and taking so much trouble about them. The reason one comes to talk as if he really had this impossible love is our utter failure to find out what his real motive is. What he does, or what does he stand to make out of them? That is the insoluble question. I do not see that it can do any harm to tell you that this very problem was a chief cause of our father's quarrel with the enemy. That'd be Satan's. When the creation of man was first mooted, and when, even at that stage, our enemy freely confessed that he foresaw a certain episode about a cross, our father very naturally sought an interview and asked for an explanation. Do you think, potentially, that Satan, being potentially born before the world, or at least before the fall of Adam and Eve, had questions.
Mm.
What is that? Oh, Satan, that's man. What's he for? What are you going to do with him? I'm going to make him like me. What do you mean, make him like you? Well, there's this thing called love. Well, that sounds useless. These are the thoughts that Lewis again, if you missed it, Chronicles of Narnia, the Great Divorce, great friend Tolkien, the writer of Lord of the Rings, what he's laying out. It's interesting. Next cut, Mr. Producer. The enemy gave no reply except to produce the cock and bull story about disinterested love, which he has been circulating ever since. This our father naturally could not accept. He implored the enemy to lay his cards on the table and gave him every opportunity. He admitted that he felt a real anxiety to know the secret. The enemy replied, "I wish with all my heart that you did." It was, I imagine, at this stage in the interview that our fathers discussed at such an unprovoked lack of confidence caused him to remove himself an infinite distance from the presence with a suddenness which has given rise to this ridiculous enemy story that he was forcibly thrown out of heaven. Since then, we have begun to see why our oppressor was so secretive. His throne depends on the secret. Members of his faction have frequently admitted that if ever we were to come to understand what he meant by love, the war would be over and we should re-enter heaven. Again, here's a question. Did angels ever have free will? Do they have it now? What does that mean for them? Lewis, in his playing and grappling with this, is obviously the devils of hell had a time where they were able to decide. Lucifer had a decision. He decided against God. He was not created. He had some form of capacity to make a decision. Now, for whatever reason, it appears that he will never change that opinion, and the devils of hell also will never change that. I'm not going to get into angelology and does an angel have free will at this point in time, but apparently there was a choice made by Satan and his followers. And this is Lewis in his literary prowess exploring what's fascinating about that question. To continue on. And there lies the great task to find the secret. We know that he cannot really love. Nobody can. It doesn't make sense. If we could only find out what he is really up to. Hypothesis after hypothesis have been tried, and still we can't find out. Yet we must never lose hope. More and more complicated theories, fuller and fuller collections of data, richer rewards for researchers who make progress, and more terrible punishments for those who fail. All this, pursued and accelerated to the very end of time, cannot surely fail to succeed. You complain that my last letter does not make it clear whether I regard being in love as a desirable state for a human or not. But really, Wormwood, that is the sort of question one expects them to ask. Leave them to discuss whether love or patriotism or celibacy or candles on altars, teetotalism or education are good or bad. Can't you see there is no answer? Nothing matters at all except the tendency of a given state of mind in given circumstances to move a particular patient at a particular moment nearer to the enemy or nearer to us. Thus, it would be quite a good thing to make the patient decide that love is good or bad. If he is an arrogant man with contempt for the body, really based on delicacy, but mistaken by him for purity, and one who takes pleasure in flouting what most of his fellows approve, by all means let him decide against love. Instill into him an overweening asceticism, and then, when you have separated his sexuality from all that might humanize it, weigh in on him with it in some much more brutal and cynical form. Again, Christ didn't say that you ought to be celibate. He said people who are celibate, I was just reading this in Matthew. He says, if you are celibate for the kingdom, if you are giving your all to God, this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. Not everyone can do that. So the question is, what Lewis is playing with here is, can you understand what love is? Can you come to realize that it's not this romantic fantasy, this ever after, and it's also not a bad thing. That's what the demons and devils of hell wish to trip us on. That's what they want to get you on, so to speak. Thoughts before we move?
You're nailing it.
Okay. If, on the other hand, he is an emotional, gullible man, rather, feed him on minor poets and fifth-rate novelists of the old school until you have made him believe that love is both irresistible and somehow intrinsically meritorious. This belief is not much help, I grant you, in producing casual unchastity, but it is an incomparable recipe for prolonged, noble, romantic, tragic adulteries ending, if all goes well, in murders and suicides. Failing that, it can be used to steer the patient into a useful marriage. For marriage, though the enemy's invention, has its uses. There must be several young women in your patient's neighborhood who would render the Christian life intensely difficult to him if only you could persuade him to marry one of them. Please send me a report on this when you next write. In the meantime, get it quite clear in your own mind that this state of falling in love is not in itself necessarily favorable to either us or the other side. It is simply an occasion which we and the enemy are both trying to exploit. Like most other things which humans are excited about, such as health, sickness, age, youth, or war, or peace, it is, from the point of view from the spiritual life, mainly raw material. Your affectionate uncle, Screwtape.
That's an interesting conclusion.
So,
I should say ending.
Marriage is neither good nor bad. It is a sacrament. It is, when carried out, true marriage as a sacrament is commanded, right? To some level, most people are led to get married. Not all. I'm currently unmarried, and I never have been, right?
But you'd like to be.
I would like to be. It is generally a command of the Lord, generally. But two people coming together inherently isn't necessarily a good thing. It can be used to your detriment or to your benefit.
I think, the Lord has a plan, He has a purpose, and He has a path for your life. And two people come together, and there's a lot of growing, a lot of dying. But then what happens is the two people become two different people, but better people. They should complement each other. When I am in my weakest point, Charlie's at his strongest. When he's at his weakest, that seems to be I'm at my strongest, which is a compliment. And that's where two people rely on each other through the challenges and the pleasures of life, actually. So, but there is a lot of dying. But, dying is not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of good spiritually that comes out of dying to some of the things that you want or some of the things that he wants.
Yes.
And then you come to an agreement and it's better. It's a better than what you could have wanted on independently, what he could have wanted independently. So that's what we have found in almost 42 years of marriage. And that does make it work very well. But a lot of selfishness has to die in a marriage. And we live in a culture that's very self-centered, so it makes it more difficult today for younger people.
Indeed. Final thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, just thinking about this, situation in
Minneapolis.
Yeah, and just listening to the mayor there, just his comments is they're
Elect
just
smarter people.
Yeah, and it just sounds to me like he's doing nothing but just inciting more and more, and inciting his base and people in that city to do more, just by what he's saying.
You know how we got elected, right? Remember I said elect smarter people? They imported a bunch of 68 IQ people.
That's exactly how it happened.
So we got to stop that.
I agree completely.
Final thoughts, Miss Nikki?
Yeah, I've given up thinking that you can you can reason with the left. I've given that up because I realize they're not looking at reason. They're looking to follow an ideology. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
And if you hate Trump, it doesn't matter if Trump helped a little old lady across the street. You would find something to criticize him for.
Yeah.
And I'm sad about that. One thing I've always told my kids, and I will say it again, usually the loudest person in the room has nothing to say. Usually the most violent protest out there, they don't have anything to stand on. That's why they have to be violent and they have to protest, because they don't have a foundational argument to stand on.
And that's where we need to have a strong one of our own.
Yes.
Make sure you know why you believe what you believe, Charlie.
So for those that have not seen this, especially on the George Floyd riots, The Fall of Minneapolis, great documentary by Liz Collins. She was the former anchor there in Minneapolis for one of the stations. She did a phenomenal job putting that on. But when you look at all this and how it builds, when you look at what happened to the police force there, it breaks my heart because there were good men and women there that wanted to do what was right, and they were told not to.
I want to say this, though, before we go off, is that Charlie had to do some insurance adjusting in Minneapolis. And so we were there. He was there for 6 weeks, but I went up there to visit with him for a week. And I have to tell you, I was very surprised. There were some really, just to say this, some of the people I met up there were really wonderful. They were very nice.
Salt of the earth people. Yeah.
Yeah, and the places we went to were very friendly. I was surprised. I was looking, because sometimes New York people can be very sarcastic, and I was kind of looking, expecting that.
You're also
and
consuming it all through the news, and you're not meeting the people who are actually the victims.
So I told Charlie, I said I had an idea of how it was before I went there. And when I went there and I met some of the people there, I really liked them.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've got friends up in Minneapolis. It's a great place.
It's a beautiful area,
and it's a crime that it's been so horribly mismanaged.
Yep.
So
turning into a third world country.
Be in prayer for Minneapolis. Be in prayer for our president and vice president. They're right on. We probably should send. I don't know I don't think we could send the Marines, but probably the National Guard. And we're at the brink of a civil war. We're kind of teetering on our Fort Sumter moment just a little bit. I don't think they have the spine that Lee and the folks at Fort Sumter had, but it's not great. Be in prayer. Know what you believe. Know why you believe that, and be prepared to defend it. And defend it in a way that wins the other person this week. That's all we got for you. You have a beautiful and safe week.